Hello everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. It has been a while, I know, since I've put anything up on my channel or posted anywhere. I have just not been feeling very well, you guys, and this video is not about that, but I'm kind of explaining why I've been, not so present on social media. So I'm going to be working on these banner panels as I'm just kind of chit-chatting with you guys and kind of catching you up on what's been going on here and just some upcoming things I'm going to be doing, and just kind of just have somebody to talk to, I guess, so to speak. So since I'm out here by myself. So these are banners. This isn't like a tutorial or anything. I'm just working on something while I'm talking to you guys. I have a hard time actually doing things when I'm talking, but we'll see if I can do both at the same time today. So these are just the banners that you can get from Dollar Tree. They come on, with a string or a piece of jute, I think it is. And I just, take it off, and I wanted to have individual panels. So I'm just making little individual banners, like, or like a pennant banner, I guess, or wall art, or whatever you want to call it. And I'll just run some jute through the top right here because it does have it stitched on the back because it was a banner. And then this is kind of what my template, I guess you could say. I was trying to decide if I liked the size of the letters, and I think I do. I let this kind of sit for a few days before I came back out here, and it is not convenient at all to get to my tote of all of my stamps that I have. And I have to unstack like 4 different totes. I mean, I can do it. It's just kind of like, ugh, do I really want to do that? So I already had a bunch of stamps out from a prior market that I was a part of, and I'll tell you guys about that in a moment. So this is the stamp set that I'm using. I have this one out. It's Tim Holtz lowercase. Oops, sorry for the glare, you guys. So I'm using that one, and what I did is just on a piece of this linen that I had, I just stamped out the word home, as you can see, and I just kind of let it sit there for a little bit. I took a picture so I kind of look at it and think about it, because I wasn't sure if I liked the size, but I think I do. I do, and I don't think it's worth me having to, move a bunch of things just to get to some stamps to pull out under the stamp set, letter stamp set, I should say, or alpha stamps, and decide that the home one is the one I like the best. So I'm just going to go with that one. So the ink I'm using is Potting Soil Archival ink, and I just pinned it on here because I wanted to hold it up and kind of look at it, and I do like how it looks. So that's my template. We'll put that one off to the side. So what I'm doing is I'm actually stamping on the whole piece of fabric, and then what I'll do is go through and cut off the excess, because I just don't want to risk cutting a piece off and then not having enough space for the whole phrase or word to be on there, because I've done that before, because Abby doesn't measure unless I have to. So that's what I'm doing, just in case you're like, why are you doing it that way? I typically don't do it this way, but when I have to do multiples of something, and I have more of this in another tote, but I'm just trying to use up the scrap piece that I have, and I'm only making 6. I've seen 5 more, so I have plenty of material for that. Let me show you what the base is real quick here, what I've decided. So the panel there, and then we have, this is some drop cloth canvas that I got from Lowe's, and I just washed it and I cut it up to, I think make maybe half-yard increments, and some of them I did a couple yards, because I wanted to have enough length that I could make, maybe something a little bit larger, and then the rest I just left like it as a whole piece. So anyway, so that's what that's from, and I just took a piece of paper, just quickly made a template, and kind of cut it, and then I frayed the edges because I like how that looks. This here, you guys, is actually part of a curtain panel from Bed Bath & Beyond. Let me grab it. So I don't have the whole panel here. I just cut a section off, and then I put it in my tote, just a little bit out for me to work with. Because as you guys know, I'm not like in a proper craft room. I'm in the garage, and so I just have to kind of pull out little bits of things as I need, which is great because everything's like right here. So this is the panel from the curtain. It did have a lining, which I kept. It was all linen, and I love it. It's like this kind of natural color right there. That piece right there. So I did keep the lining, of course, and so this is part of a curtain panel. Now this thing was $125 for one panel at Bed Bath & Beyond. No, I did not pay that price. Number one, I would never pay that price for one curtain panel unless it was made out of gold or something like that in purple. No, I'm just kidding. So Steve and I were just at Bed Bath & Beyond, just kind of looking at some different household items and whatnot, because we purchased our home this past summer, just in case you're new to my channel, here in our part of Montana. And we don't have everything here with us because we were living with Jeff and Angie, and Angie is my best friend. I always have her information linked below. She's a phenomenal artist, you guys. Jewelry, miniature houses, art journals. She's just just amazing, and I just love her to death. So anyway, we lived with them until we found a place that we wanted to call our own. So most of our belongings are still in Oregon in a storage unit. So we, bought some things here, and now we're getting grown-up things instead of just like the cheaper Dollar Tree bowls and things like that. Anyway, we were there just looking around, and I saw this curtain panel, because we actually were looking for a curtain panel for one of the doors in our living room. It goes out to the back deck. And I was walking around, we're looking at them. That place is pretty pricey. I do like to go there because it's kind of fun to see some of the new gadgets and things like that. But I typically don't shop there too much unless I have a coupon or something, just because of the price of items. And we have one a little bit closer to us now than I did when we were living in Albany. So anyhow, I went in there, we're just looking for some different things. And then I like to kind of peruse the entire store. Steve was kind of like, we need milk, eggs, we're going to go to dairy, we're going to go to chips, soda, and then we're out. That is not me. I'm like all over the place. I just love walking around, whether I'm going to buy anything or not, I just do. So anyway, so he was doing that with me, of course, and I happened to see a clearance section in the curtain area, and they had this, I can't remember the dimensions, but it was the biggest one that they sold, but it was one panel. So anyway, so when I saw it in the clearance thing, I took the package off the shelf. It was still packaged in the clear zipper pouch that they put them in, and it was $25 on clearance. And I was like, oh, I don't know, because that's a lot of material for sure. And I love the colors, and I love the linen look of it. It just reminded me of doing the different sashiko things I like to do, and I like the colors. It's just a really nice neutral. You can flip it over, and you can see like a darker blue. That's pretty cool too. So anyway, I didn't buy it. I kept saying to myself after we left, I was like, oh, I should have bought it, because to me, $25 was a good price for all of that material. And I remember it was double lined. The whole inside of the curtain was that really nice linen that I just showed you guys a little piece of it on the curtain edge there. But I went back there again, I think it was in December. I think I was picking up something for Christmas for somebody. I can't remember exactly. And I thought, okay, I'm going to zip down and check out the clearance section again to see if it was still there, and it was. And it was marked down to $15. So I thought, I'm gonna go ahead and take it, because 15 bucks to me is a steal. So that is the 5-hour story of how I got this piece. I'm sorry, you guys. Gabby, you've been warned. So anyway, so that's just another source you can look for, different materials and stuff, clearance sections and whatnot. Anyhow, so that is what this piece is here. And I just took a section with this kind of grid, and then another with this here. So I happen to have 6 panels, so I just did 3 with this and 3 with that one. So anyways, that's what's on top of that. And then I have, this is just a piece of some muslin that I got from Hobby Lobby, I'm sure, just by the yard, nothing fancy. And I'm gonna put that there. This is just some lace. I cut the edges off because I wanted it to be a specific size. That's there. And then as you can tell, it's going to be that stamped piece right on there. So that's what I'm going to be working on as I'm chatting with you guys. So I'll get to what I'm making these for in a little bit. So the month of January, I was out here pretty much daily working on some different items for a vintage market that I was invited to participate in, I should say. It was, I was asked in October, I think it was, and the event was February 3rd and 4th in Helena at this amazing ballroom. I'll do some pictures. Maybe I'll throw them up as I'm chit-chatting with you guys, or I might do a separate video, because I did find some really cool vintage goodies while I was there too, and I got pictures of my booth and everything. So that was the first time that I've done an in-person booth like that for probably, I don't know, at least a decade, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, I went ahead and just stamped the letters, or the phrase, as you can see. I thought it might be annoying to hear the tap, tap, tap of the ink. So anyhow, so what was I saying? Oh, that I just never really did in-person events like that. I've just always sold either by, word of mouth, or by people, doing commission type of requests, or just online off my YouTube channel or whatever. So anyway, so I was nervous about it, and I was excited. It took about a month to decide if I was going to do it or not. And Steve was like, do it, because he thought it'd be a great thing for me to do, to kind of network with some local artisans and other lovers of vintage things like myself, since we're new to this area of Helena, this part of Montana. And he thought it'd be a good thing just to kind of get out and just have a good time. So it was an event that started Friday evening, and then it went all day on Saturday. So I made a bunch of projects working on that. I actually, where are my scissors I'm looking for? I actually did film myself working on everything that I was doing, different parts. Some of the different projects I was working on, I forgot to film like a before, or take a picture of the item before I altered it and did, you know, abbied it up, as I like to say. But I did show you guys, you know, what the end result looked like. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and edit all of those videos or not, because that was a little while ago, and I just don't know if that'd be interesting for you guys or not to even see something like that. So anyhow, so I was working on different things, and then I realized, you know, it's taken me longer to film and try to, you know, work on different things and get them done quicker because I am slow and I'm fine with that. And I like to slow stitch, hand stitch, so it takes me a long time to kind of do different things like that. I had different items that I was working on in the house I would take in at night, and while we're watching TV or whatever, we would just kind of sit there. And actually Steve was helping me make some of the different things I was working on too. So I will probably more than likely do a separate video on all of that. But at that event, I was asked by multiple people who were, whether they were a customer just shopping around or if they were another vendor, because we all kind of shopped each other's, you know, booths and stuff like that. It was kind of fun. And they're, you know, they said that they thought that I should really be a part of this next event, which is called Upcountry Vintage Market, and it's in April. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, at the fairgrounds in Helena. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be, you know, let me think about it and blah, blah, blah. So I did all the paperwork on it, excuse me, and I got a spot. So I'm really excited about it. And there's a lady that I met at last year's market. I actually bought quite a bit of stuff. Well, Steve bought it for me because, you know, I get spoiled at that market. And I met this lady because her whole booth was all vintage linens and things like that. And so we got to chatting a year ago, and, you know, she'd asked, we exchanged business cards and blah, blah, blah. And we email off and on. It's funny because she actually lives about maybe 20 minutes from where we are. We kind of laughed about that. Anyhow, so I've kind of become, you know, friends with her, I guess you could say, the early stages of that. And so she was encouraging me to be a part of this as well, because she thought the things that I make and whatnot would be a good fit. So that's the story behind what this next market that I'm doing. Steve, of course, goes with me and sits with me the whole time because I'm a baby. I'm a 50-year-old baby. I have to have somebody sitting there with me. I'm just like, oh. Anyway, I'm such a little baby, I guess. Anyhow, okay, I lost track of what I was even talking about. Oh, the market. So that's kind of what I was doing the whole month of January. On the days that I felt up to coming out here to work on different projects and such. So that's kind of what I was doing. And so anyway, after that event was over, and it was great. I did way better than I expected to, you guys. I sold probably a little over half of the items that I brought with me. The remaining things will be at the upcoming market, and then I'll also put some up on my website as well. So it was great. Angie and Jeff came out to hang with us on Saturday, the last day towards the end. It was a lot of fun. Anyhow, that's what I was doing. So once the market was over, that Saturday evening, we literally took everything from the back of the truck and everything into the garage, like all of my, you know, decor stuff, my table linens, and all the different vintage containers. I had different items in that I was selling, and we put it in the garage, went in the house. I showered, crashed, and I pretty much was in bed that Saturday evening, I would say, for the next 7 days, you guys. Obviously, I got up to shower and eat and things like that, but I was down a long time, and I haven't had a time like that where I've been down quite that long. This is probably the first time since we moved here, actually, and it was because I pushed myself and I did too much. Now, it kind of sounds pathetic when I say that out loud because I'm out here stitching and, you know, creating different vintage things and, you know, whatnot. So it's not like I'm out there, you know, shoveling coal or, you know, logging or something like that. So I sometimes feel stupid when I say that, but that is kind of my reality with chronic pain that I have. So if I do too much, then I pay for it the next day. And so the whole month of January caught up to me after the event was over. So I learned from that lesson, and I'm managing my time a little bit better. I kind of procrastinated, as you can say, because the month of December, I didn't do anything out here like this. I was doing family stuff and, you know, just the normal things you do in the month of December. I didn't really start working on actual projects. So that was kind of my fault. Well, it was all my fault because I control myself. So anyway, let me make sure these are the right size here. Hope I didn't cut them down. I may have to go ahead and cut new pieces of this lace because I don't like it not covering. I like the lace to kind of poke out on both sides. So these will not be wasted, of course, because these will go into one of my cabbage bins that I have. And cabbage is the Victorian word for fabric scraps, little bits. Because I think I'm all posh. Anyhow, I learned that from some different historical dress people that I watch who make historical clothing, and I like that because they're, you know, I love old things and stuff. So anyhow, so these will not go to waste. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that lace and cut some new pieces. Okay, I don't remember where I left off. I stopped so I could go take care of something, so hopefully I can remember. I think I was talking about me being down for 7 days. Might have been a little bit longer, but but the rest of the month actually we're still in February, but I have just not been feeling well, you guys. I don't know if it's a combination of the cold here, because cold is bad for me. Now, some people that have trigeminal neuralgia, the cold is good for them, and others heat is better for them. For me, heat is better. So when we lived in Florida, my pain, was, manageable. I mean, it's still high, but it was, I could go outside and be on the beach and stuff and not have to cover my face with a scarf or anything like I would have to do when we lived in Oregon on the Pacific coast there. So anyhow, I have just been having a rough time pain-wise, and this is not a poor Abby sympathy, whatever. That is not what I'm about. If you're new, I am not about that anyway, at all, in any way, shape, or form, I should say. So I'm just sharing with you guys where I've been, what's been going on, because, this is like, craft stitching, whatever, tutorial, how to watch Abby, the purple obsessed person channel, but I also chit chat about, life stuff too, my kids and husband and that kind of stuff. So anyway, so this is part of it. And I was just not doing good. I mean, I have different medication that I can take when my pain is high like that, and that didn't seem to help. So I think it was just a combination of the cold weather, and our house and stuff is great. We have a wood stove and it's all nice and cozy, but we go in and out to go to the store, things like that. So anyhow, so I think it was just a combination of all of that stuff. So I was down for quite a while, and I just wasn't in the mood to do anything. I think it was probably 3 weeks or so when I did my last post on Instagram or anywhere. I didn't do anything like that. I've recently posted some things about Sophie. Her birthday was on the 18th, so I did a little thing on Instagram about that. And then I think I posted something else, but I just haven't felt like doing anything. And when I get in that kind of headspace, I just kind of shut down. And I mean, I'll talk to my kids and stuff when they call, or, I'm talking to Steve or whatever, but I just kind of pull away from everything because the pain is just so bad that I just want to be curled up in a ball in bed and just kind of disappear within myself, if that makes any sense. I didn't do any kind of stitching in the house. I didn't do any of that kind of stuff, which I normally do to kind of help distract myself. Anyway, so that's kind of why I've been absent as far as social media wise, YouTube channel wise, that kind of thing. But I'm doing better. I mean, I'm back to my normal pain level, and on that pain scale, which I don't like it, but I every day I rock about, I would say, 6, and I'm not even joking, you guys. That is my normal, and it has been since my brain surgery in 2015. So I am back to, like I said, my normal pain, which is allowing me to be able to talk for a little while with you guys too. So, and let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, Steve, poor Steve, he slipped on the ice on our front deck. I was laying down in bed. It was evening. I didn't even know that he went outside. And so he comes back in the house and he's limping, and he kind of collapses on the bed. And I was like, what happened? What's going on? And what happened is he just didn't take a flashlight like we usually do, because on this part of the porch, we don't have the lights that come on, the sensor lights. We're still working on different things for the house like that. And he just slipped on some ice and fell. And so his ankle was swollen really bad. I won't show you guys pictures or anything like that. So he's a little bit stubborn like me. So it took a couple days before I could get him to go to urgent care. And so I kept telling him, I go, you're gonna have to get a boot. You're gonna have to get a boot for that foot. And he's like, no, I'm not. Well, guess what, folks? He has a boot. So he's been wearing that. Gosh, when was it we went to that urgent care? I think it was on Monday, I think. I can't remember exactly. But he's doing good. So just wanted to mention that. Sophie turned 1, our little baby. So let's see. So I think that kind of catches me up, unless I think of something else, because sometimes I forget things, and like we all do, so not just me. So all right, so I like how these look. I went ahead and cut additional lace, and I like the size a little bit better than I did the other ones, and those will be put into my scrap thing, and I will use them for something different. So now I'm trying to decide if I know I want to put buttons on here, some vintage buttons. I'm going to go over and grab my buttons, and I'm going to kind of think, I'm going to be definitely doing some hand stitching, of course, and I might add some rusty things, like maybe a rusty safety pin, or I don't know, something like that. So just to kind of make it look a bit more rustic, I guess you could say. So I'm going to go and rummage around my buttons, bring some over here, and then figure out what other items I want to put on on these. I'll come back and then I'll just kind of do some stitching as I'm finishing up this kind of update, hello, Abby still here kind of video. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I have a little space here going on here. So I have kind of decided the different embellishments that I wanted to add onto these little pennant banner pieces, whatever you want to call them. So I have some old buttons on this one down. Oh, you guys cannot even see. So let me try to do this so you can see it a little better. Okay, so for this one, these are some vintage fabric lined buttons, and I did do my best to get the shank off the back. There is still, oops, a little bit hanging on, but I just use a nail file and I can get rid of that so they'll sit on here nice and flat. Next is this one here. Oh, I forgot to mention I put a rusty safety pin on this one as well, or I'm going to. And here again is all the buttons are vintage except for this heart over here. And it's really cool. It's got like a milk glass button inside. I've been hoarding this one, but you know, let's use them, Abby. And this is a key, I think from like Prima or something. I'm not sure. I've had it for so long, and then I just kind of distressed it. Looks like rusted it or something. I'm not quite sure. I've had that one in my stash for forever. And then this one here, this is the one that has the heart that is not old. I think it's like from Marion Smith or something. And it's a metal piece, and I took the shank off the back, and then I did rust this one, or did some type of treatment on it. I'm trying to decide, I think I want to put a couple small buttons on this one. I haven't decided yet. I need to figure that out. And then this one here has a larger rusted safety pin, and then this really cute plastic button. That's a vintage button, and I was able to get the shank off the back of that one. I thought that would look really cute in the center. And for this one here, I have just a rusty nail on the top. The tip of this isn't like pointy really, because this is like an old, I didn't rust this. I found this when I was digging up in the, excuse me, the neighbor's property. So anyway, I thought that was kind of a cool little bit there. And these two buttons here, I didn't realize I had two of them. The shank on the back, I can't really grab it with my snips because it's not like doesn't protrude as much, but I'll just file it down. And then that's what the button looks like. So I thought those were really cute to have those on the bottom corner. And this last one here, I think, oops, this is the one I haven't shown you guys yet, I believe. This is just some random wire, you know, old stuff that I found in the ground when I was digging around. I like how it looks, kind of looks like a little branch or something kind of there. And then I just have two old buttons on the bottom here. Now these are actually the back sides of the buttons. This is right side up. It has like a little ridge in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not. I like the back side better, so I'm just going to use the backs. I thought that would look kind of cool to have those on there. So what I'm doing now, while I kind of wrap up this really rambly video, is I'm just distressing the piece of curtain panel, the blue part. I already did it on this one, and I do like how it looks. I did it on a test piece to see if I liked it, but I like how you can see the strings and stuff. So I'm going to do that while I'm just kind of chit-chatting with you guys on the last part of this update video. Oh, real quick, sorry. Again, this is not a tutorial, but just to kind of, just for, you know, completeness, I guess you could say. I'm just using some of this, I think it said wicking yarn or something, but it says cross stitch in the bottom. This is something I thrifted from St. Vinny's a long time ago. I'm just using a combination of, this is a total of 4 strands. So I'm going to use a combination of just single strand, maybe a couple, that kind of thing, to go on here. I think it looks really good. I like the contrast. And this is just some vintage string that I have that I'll be using to stitch on the different metal and pieces that I have on here. All right, so what's the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, or one of the last things? So I was asked to be interviewed by Steven with the Idiot Quilter Bland Designs. That is the name of his YouTube channel, yes. I had reached out to him to get signed up on his email list. I'll link his YouTube channel below, because he does these live crafting chats. It's like a Zoom thing. It's not like YouTube live or anything for this particular event, and I thought I might want to participate in one of those just to kind of meet you know, some new people and just other, you know, lovers of fabric and things like that. Now, you don't have to be a quilter to participate. Even that's what his channel is kind of geared towards. Now, he used to do a lot of scrapbooking, mixed media, and he's a big lover of Tim Holtz and all that kind of stuff. So he does have some of those types of you know, art journaling videos and stuff. Like you scroll to way older videos and stuff. But the chats and stuff that he has via Zoom, he does like a quilt retreat, you know, remotely, like through Zoom. You do not have to be a quilter to participate in those activities because I am not a quilter, but just any kind of, you know, craft or just whatever you want to do. So I reached out to him because I asked if I could be on his email list for that, because he always talks about that in his videos. And so I did. And then when he replied to me, he had asked he said he checked out my channel, said he likes what I do, and he asked if I would want to be interviewed by him. Because what he does is he'll interview other YouTubers that quilt, maybe do different types of fabric work or whatever, and his criteria typically are people who have smaller channels. I think maybe 1,000 subscribers or less. I don't think he has like an exact number, but I know that a lot of the past interviews that I've watched, I don't remember seeing anybody with more than that, because what he likes to do is kind of promote smaller channels. And since I have, you know, I think I'm over 30,000 now. I can't remember. He had told me that I don't really fit his criteria as far as the type of YouTuber that he typically will interview. He said he still wanted to interview me and if I'd be okay with that. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. Because I've been interviewed before by a few other companies actually, and I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And so we kind of this was back in November, I think, or maybe early December, I can't remember. And so I told him that, you know, we'll connect kind of after the holidays, and then the whole month of January, as I explained to you guys earlier, was just chaos and crazy. So we connected, and it was February 14th actually, the day that we did my interview, and it was a lot of fun, you guys. I was nervous at first because I don't typically show my face when I'm filming, because I like to spare you guys of that nightmare. And anyway, so I was a little giggly at first and stuff, you know, because we chit-chatted before he actually recorded the interview part, and it was a lot of fun. And he had told me that, or during the interview portion, he said that, you know, he thought his viewers would, you know, like hearing the kind of things that I like to do, different textile arts and, you know, different things with fabric and whatnot. And so I want to tell you about the whole interview, so you guys can have something to watch when it does come out. So it's going to be published on his YouTube channel. I think it's March 14th. So I'll be sure to put a link to that video on my channel when it's up on his, and that way you guys can watch it if you want. I'm a little nervous because typically when I do face videos, I see the video myself because I'm the one that's editing and filming myself. If I, you know, because I do some face videos, and this makes me a little nervous because I won't see how weird I'm gonna look until it's already live on YouTube. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if I think I look too weird, I'm not gonna tell you guys that it's available to watch. Now that I told his YouTube, you guys can go watch it, whether I share a link or not. Anyhow, so I'm really excited about that. He's a really funny guy, and his husband Walter they do a couple different videos. One is called So Chatty, and that's where they just videotape themselves talking about different sewing projects and things that they're working on at the time. And then they do a Stephen and Walter live, which is cool. I think I bopped into their live chat one time. I typically watch the replay because if I'm trying to work on something, it's hard for me to keep up with the chat, reply to people, you know, my comment, people replying to what I've said or whatever, and still actively trying to, you know, stitch or work on something. So I typically don't join in on live chats if I'm actively working on something. But anyhow, so I watch all the replays and everything, and I don't know, I think he's funny. I think he and Walter play off each other really well too. So I'll put a link to his channel below. Anyhow, so I wanted to just kind of give a little blurb about him and his channel and the interview that I have that will be coming up. So I will be sure to share that with you guys, so be sure to watch out for that. Did I do this one? I already did. I haven't. This one looks like I did it. Yeah, I did that one. Did I do all 6 already? I didn't think I did. I guess I did. So there you go. So I think that's kind of it, you guys, for just kind of a checking in, seeing what's going on, where I've been kind of thing video. I do apologize that it is so rambly, and I know a lot of you always tell me, don't apologize. You guys, I can't help it. It's something in me. I've been this way my entire life. I don't know. I just apologize for things, I guess. But anyhow, just a combination of not feeling so good and trying to get back into the swing of things, and just the, you know, kind of excitement, well, not kind of excitement, but the excitement of this upcoming market that I'm going to be a part of again, and I'm just really excited about it. So I will definitely be keeping you guys posted about that. I'll probably be more of the YouTube shorts. I'm kind of new to doing those on my own channel because I have a hard time keeping things within 60 seconds. So, but I'll try to do like some quick things like I do on Instagram with reels and stuff, kind of sharing with you different things I'm working on and stuff like that. I do have some projects coming up. I just got in, let me show you. I've been placing some different orders from various places online for the vintage feed sacks because I have a feed sack playlist I'm going to be starting. So that will be coming soon. I probably won't delve into that too much until after this market's over. I'm going to be making things for the market using some of the feed sacks like that, but you know, so we'll kind of have a little bit of a, I guess, sneak peek or preview of those types of projects that are coming up. Okay, so I think that really is it, you guys. I hope you liked the video, I guess, enjoyed the video of me kind of rambling and kind of sharing with you a project that I'm currently working on. I typically work on multiple projects at once, and just because I like to kind of mix it up. So the next step of this will be to do some stitching and all that fun stuff, and then putting on the jute or burlap. I'm not sure which one I want to use to, you know, for the hanger for each of these. So I think that is it, and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying healthy and warm and toasty if you're in the cold parts of the world like I am right now. And yeah, I guess that's it. So thanks everybody, and I've missed you guys, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.